In order to look at the relationship between two variables that you have measured for an experiment, it's best to plot that data or graph that data and include uncertainties with that. Now, this is possible to do in Excel, so Microsoft Excel, but it isn't something that we can do properly in our Google Sheets, which is the Google Apps version of a spreadsheet. So if you don't have access to Microsoft Excel, what I suggest you do is use Plotly, which is a really powerful plotting program. You can go to Google and put in Plotly and sign in, and the first link there should take you to the sign in or sign up page. All you need to do, make sure that you're in your browser using your education account, so your school account, and you can just log in directly with your Google Plus down here. Right, now that we're here, we need to go and create a new chart, and this is the only function that we're going to use. This space here is the grid where we're going to put in our data, and I will copy in some data here and show you how to use it. So this is some data that I have simply made up. I don't usually make up data, but in this case that's okay. And what I'd like to do is change the name of the header. So I can go to headers, rename header to tell you what this data is. So for example, this is the speed, and I might put the units there, meters per second. And this data here in this column C is maybe the stopping distance, so the amount of distance that it takes to stop for that speed. Right? Each of these columns B and D represents the uncertainty for each of those variables. So I'm going to rename this header uncertainty in speed, and I'm going to rename the header here uncertainty in stopping distance. Stopping distance, stop distance. All right, so now I have a data set which has an independent variable speed, which I'm going to put on the horizontal axis, and a stopping distance, which is my dependent variable on the vertical axis. Now I'm going to plot or graph this data up. I'm going to add a trace. It's going to be a scatter graph. That's fine. My X variable or my horizontal variable is the speed, so I can select that. And my Y variable is the stopping distance. So there's the data there. It doesn't have any uncertainties on it at the moment. To add uncertainties, first we need to select style and then traces. Right down the bottom of this traces are the options for error bars for the X variable and error bars for the Y variable. Now we have both of those. We're going to make them both symmetric because they're the same above and beyond. And at the moment it's just giving it as a percentage value of 10%. Now we don't want that. We want to specify some particular data for our X error bars, which is included in that second column there. So we need to choose the data in the uncertainty speed column. And we do the same. We add symmetric Y error bars. We choose the data, and we need to select which column it is, which is the uncertainty and the stopping distance. And so now we have those data points plotted and the error bars for those data points. The next thing that we want to do after we have done with the style and setting those error bars is we want to put in a line of best fit. So this is a statistical analysis. So we click analysis and a curve fitting. We want to add a fit, and this will allow us to say which fit it is. And it's just this, the only one that you will have there is the one that you will choose. All right, at the moment, the default is a linear function, and that's absolutely fine. We're just going to go with that. We don't want to do anything like force it to go through 0. So we're just going to run that fit. And that's the line that it's putting through that data. At the moment that's pretty basic, but what we can do if we want to is click on the advanced options here. We can change the X max and min for the display range. So if we wanted it to go to 0, put a 0 for the minimum, 5 for the maximum, and click run, and that will take it down to 0 here. You can also play with the range here and bring change the kind of scale so you can see the whole axes down to 0 if that's important to you interpreting the data. You can also tidy up your plot, so put in a plot title and your vertical and horizontal axes labels. And you can also get rid of the legend if you wanted, if you only got the one data set there, by simply hiding. Obviously there are ways of making them more attractive, but this is the basic idea. You can get some basic fit parameters from for your slope here and your y-intercept here back in the curve fitting. If you've added a linear fit to this data, but we will look at ways of getting some more information about these parameters and their uncertainties using a spreadsheet program. So that's it. That's how you can graph data with uncertainties and add a line of best fit to your data using Plotly.